Now, a few months back, I got a chance and was privileged to get the prototype for the laptop or convertible laptop we're about to look at here in this full review. Yes, it's the HP Dragonfly Folio G3. It brings the pull-forward design we saw from the HP Elite Folio, and I like that. That's a really nice two-in-one convertible design. Pretty interesting, pretty different than, say, a detachable or a traditional convertible. I like that pull-forward design. We'll get into it in this review. It's got a polyurethane cover that really looks like real leather. It's actually really premium and high-end. It's got a 12th gen Intel processor, and it also has really good battery life, as I got some really good results when I went to New York, and this was my daily driver there. And it also has optional 5G, so he's always connected during that trip. We're going to get into it if I think this is one of the best business convertibles out there for 2022. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the HP Dragonfly Folio G3, all new for 2022. Coming up. Now, before we get to the unit itself, I just want to let everyone know, in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by HP, I'm not being sponsored by HP. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. HP is not getting copy approval. That means they're seeing this video for the first time, just like you. Now, this unit is on loan from HP, and once this review is done, I'll be sending it back. Okay, let's talk about pricing, and don't fall off your chair when you see this starting price of $33.73. Yes, it is expensive, and of course, this is a business-focused laptop, so companies will tend to buy these in bulk and get discounts from HP. That's the first thing you need to keep in mind. Second thing is that these tend to go on sale, so always check the link in the description below for the latest pricing, as HP does get aggressive in terms of sales, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see this slashed in half at some point. Again, always check the link in the description below, again, for that latest pricing. For those interested, I'll leave a link in the description below for more information and where you can buy one. And to illustrate my point of the fluctuation in prices during the press briefing, the unit as configured here is about $1,750 or so. So that's a stark contrast to what we're seeing here as a starting price. So don't take this as an actual be-all, end-all price. Again, prices will fluctuate. Just please keep that in mind. And for those wondering, I did a live unboxing of this last week on the channel. It was a really nice unboxing, really good stuff here. Again, for those interested, I'll drop a link in the description below. Now, as far as weight is concerned, I measured 1.44 kilograms with the pen. Without it, you're looking at about 1.4 kilograms or 3.09 pounds, 3.3 pounds with the pen. Add in the power charger along with the power cord. You're looking at 1.72 kilograms, which is 3.72 pounds. And I would say all in, the total package is pretty portable. That's going to be good for the road warrior who needs to get work done on the road. And speaking of that power charger, a very compact, very travel-friendly 65-watt USB-C charger, and it has a nice braided cable. That's going to prevent snagging and tearing. That's more durable, and you gotta love that it's included here. And as far as that pen is concerned, my unit came with the pen, that rechargeable tilt pen that sticks magnetically to the side. It stores on the side and also charges pretty quickly as well. We'll get into the pen later on in this review. Now, for those wondering, this exterior is not real leather. They're using a polyurethane. They're not even calling it vegan leather this time around, and it actually has a pretty premium feel. It feels very high-end and very well made. The durability on this laptop seems rock solid. Of course, I need to do long-term testing, but so far, it's actually worked out pretty well. And even my prototype that I used for the last few months actually held up really well. So that's been pretty good. Now, as far as the actual design itself, this is a pull-forward design. This builds upon the HP Elite Folio that I looked at. That was the one with the ARM processor, and it has that very similar hinge on it, which allows you to pull it forward as you see here, or put it into the tablet mode. So you got really three modes with this, and it's actually pretty good. The hinges are actually really well made on this, and it's actually worked out surprisingly well as a tablet. Now, me being left-handed, I hold it with my right hand and has like a little ledge for me to hold on to while I take my notes or sketch out diagrams or artwork or whatever I might need with the pen. Now, speaking of the pen, that HP rechargeable tilt pen worked out really well. And I mentioned earlier, it charges really fast when it's connected to the magnetic latch on the side. Worked out really well in terms of never having to worry about batteries, always having it charged, always having it with you. And that connection's actually pretty secure. But if you're going to be traveling, I always put it into a separate pocket in my bag just in case, so it doesn't get knocked off. And when it comes to the keyboard, an excellent job here by HP. The tactility was really good, the key travel is good, and it's very comfortable to type on. So any extended periods of typing has been great on this. Great for productivity, great for typing out long documents, or even a short email. It all worked well. And it has a multi-stage backlight that worked really well. And I like the fact that there are dark keys here, so it lights up really well with those white LEDs, allowing you to get work done in a dark room or a dimly lit environment. And when it comes to the touchpad, I thought it was very responsive. It was nicely sized as well, and all the gestures work as you'd expect. Two-finger scrolling was also buttery smooth. Excellent job on the touchpad here. Okay, let's talk about the ports, and we're going to start off on the left side. You get a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack, a heating vent, two USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports that are full function, which support data, charge, and display out. And next to that is the SIM tray for the optional 5G for your nano SIM. That just clicks right out. You don't need a SIM ejection tool. It worked out pretty well. And on the right side is the port that connects to your pen to store and charge it. That magnetic latch comes out to greet it. We showed that. And you also get another heating vent. There are no other ports on that right side, and not too many ports overall on this laptop, of course, thin and light. But again, two Thunderbolt 4 ports give you some versatility. Would like to see a micro SD card reader or an SD card reader. That would have been great. Would have been nice to have maybe one USB-A port. You don't get it. So just keep a note of those limited ports on this. Now, in order to service the parts in this, in order to upgrade the SSD, HP does have a nice video on how to do that, and I'll drop a link in the description below to that video. They do a really great job. So again, I don't have to do it. That's even better. But the good news is you can upgrade the SSD. The RAM, unfortunately, as we know, these thin and light laptops, it's soldered in. You won't be able to upgrade it as the user. But you can upgrade certain parts. You can replace certain parts. And that video does an excellent job explaining just how to do it. Again, for those that are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. And of course, having upgradable SSD storage is great. As your needs change, you will be able to install more storage. That's really good. And as you can see from these reads and writes, these are Gen 4 speeds, so very good on that front. Okay, let's talk about the display. And there are actually three different options here. There's the 13.5-inch WLED 1920 by 1280 low blue light filter, touchscreen, 400 nits. That's the one I have here today. It's really good. 13.5-inch, of course, is a second one as well. 1920 by 1280, low blue light filter. That's a 1000-nit SureView Reflect display. That's more for privacy and so forth. They do a really good job on those. And then there's one option that's a custom option for the business users. 13.5-inch OLED display, 3K by 2K. That's 3000 by 2000. And that one we saw on the HP Spectre X360 14 this year, or 13.5. This year we saw that, and that's a really nice display, but that's only for custom orders on business users. I'm not sure if it's going to be widely available. If I hear anything, I'll let everyone know. But as far as this display is concerned, it's actually really good. It's got some really good colors on it. It's got some really good metrics on it. And according to HP, they're saying this is 400 nits. I actually measured 404 nits, so a little bit above what they claim. So that's been pretty good, definitely bright enough. Now, my prototype that I used for the last few months before I got this retail shipping unit, that had a matte display, so you didn't get a lot of glare reflections on that one, but it didn't get quite as bright as this one, which actually comes in brighter. This has a glossy display, as you can see. So there's a little bit of a contrast between what I got in the prototype and this shipping retail unit. But nonetheless, this is an excellent display. As you can see, really good coverage of the color gamut. It is color accurate under 2, so that's been pretty good. And it has really good contrast on this as well. So this has been a really nice display, especially with that 3:2 aspect ratio for getting work done. Now, the little negative on that is, of course, if you're going to be consuming media, watching Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube, you will get slight black bars on the top and the bottom. Not a huge deal, but something you do get used to pretty quick. So It is also better, obviously, for getting more work done, for productivity. You'll see more on the display. You do less scrolling when it comes to web browsing. But my overall takeaway is this is a really nice display, and I think because it has a full HD plus resolution, 1920 by 1280, you'll do better in terms of battery life than you would on, say, something with a higher res. So keep that in mind as well. But overall, good job. So this is the 8 megapixel camera here. Really a first, I think. I don't know if we saw an 8 megapixel camera. We saw a lot of 5 megapixel cameras, and I think HP's done a fantastic job as we round out 2022 here on this camera, as well as the other cameras we looked at here in 2022 from HP. IR camera allows you to log in with face recognition, Windows Hello. You got auto framing, background blur effect, all that stuff, auto lighting. You get all the bells and whistles here, and I showed a little bit in my live unboxing of this, and it's really good. They did a good job. So if this is a device you need for video conferencing, this will not disappoint. And it has some pretty nice array mics, hoping to eliminate some of that background noise in a noisy environment. That's been pretty good so far. Now, there is a physical key on the keyboard that allows you to turn off the webcam. It's a software switch, really, because there's no physical shutter like you get in other HP laptops. It doesn't turn silver when you're using it. So, again, the reason is they had to put an 8 megapixel sensor here. So, an 8 megapixel camera took up a little bit more space, no room for an actual physical shutter, but you do get that software-wise for more security and privacy. I want to know what you think about the video quality and the audio quality. Let me know in the comments section below. Okay, let's talk about performance, and this is running the Core i7-1265U. This has a vPro processor. This also has 10 cores. That's 8 efficiency cores and 2 performance cores. And as you can see from these benchmarks, very impressive performance, actually pretty good in terms of both the single core and multi-core performance. So doing things such as Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, all handled really well. It was excellent. Now, as far as the Cinebench R23, that's a test that takes into account any kind of thermal throttling. You notice it has a pretty good single core score and a really good multi-core score. It's even better, actually, than the HP Elite Dragonfly G3, the non-folio version that we looked at earlier this year, and actually did pretty well. So we see less thermal throttling on this convertible laptop. Pretty interesting. And as far as the SSD is concerned, excellent reads and writes, as you can see here. These are Gen 4 speeds. These are really certainly excellent as far as transferring documents and all kinds of files and so forth. Really fast, and that's what we like to see. And when it comes to gaming, I think it goes without saying this is really not a gaming laptop. It has the integrated Iris Xe graphics, and as I said many times on this channel, these are getting a little bit long in the tooth. We like to see a nice upgrade here for 2023 on those integrated graphics solution from Intel. But having said that, if you lower some of the settings, you can get some playable frame rates. I've shown you a million times all the different games, so I'm not going to really repeat it here, but you can pretty much play some of the games. Again, older titles will be a lot better than the AAA titles, which I don't think you can really run on this. Now, keep in mind, there are 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, so if you want to add an external GPU, that might be an option to go with, but that of course adds to the overall cost of the unit. And again, this is a business-focused laptop, not so much gaming, but an occasional game here and there, you can probably do it. Now, the thermals were actually pretty decent. Not too much thermal throttling, which is pretty typical of the thin and light. So you don't really get that here. That's actually pretty good. And as you can see, the surface temperatures remain relatively cool as well. Now, as far as the fan noise is concerned, it will kick in under heavy load, but you will not notice it too much because it remained relatively quiet. So that's been pretty good, especially if you want to get productivity work done. Okay, let's talk about the battery life, one of the strong suits of this ultra portable laptop. And this does have a 53 watt hour battery, and it did 12 hours and 52 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. That's a good result. And what you can expect in terms of real world mixed usage, about 7 to 8 hours. That's actually pretty good. And I actually got even better just depending on what kind of power savings you're going to employ. When I took it to New York, I didn't really have to charge it that much. It was really good in terms of that. And I was even using the 5G. So it's been really good in terms of that longevity. So kudos to HP. They did a good job on that. Now, when it comes to plugging in, that supplied 65 watt USB-C power charger does support fast charging, giving you a full charge in about 90 minutes. That's actually pretty good. And the audio is actually pretty good on this as well. You're looking at quad speakers. There are 4 of them, and discrete amps featuring what they call HP Immersive Audio 2.0. And I got to say, it filled up a room pretty nicely in terms of the volume. Mid's decent. There was a hint of bass, and the overall sound was pretty good. So very good for an ultra portable with those quad speakers. Okay, people, let's bring it on home. What do I think about the HP Dragonfly Folio G3 here for 2022? There's a lot to like here. Let's start with what I like. Sharp 13.5-inch full HD display, 1920 by 1280. It's excellent. Outstanding keyboard, touchpad, all worked well. Pull forward design gives you a lot of versatility as a convertible, and that's been pretty good. Excellent battery life. Once again, we saw it on the G3 with the non-folio version I looked at earlier this year, and it carries over to here. Not quite as good as that, but very good nonetheless. You get fast DDR5 RAM. You get that fast PCIe Gen 4 reads and writes for that SSD. 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports gives you a lot of versatility. Love the optional 5G option, of course. The amazing 8 megapixel webcam, and it has that really nice pen support that stores and charges the pen on the unit. That solution worked out pretty well. Negatives, of course, you're looking at soldered RAM, and it can get expensive, although I've noticed the prices fluctuate. So again, check the link for the latest pricing. It will go up and down, so just keep your eye on it. But there's a lot to like here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give the HP Dragonfly Folio G3 a score of 91%, earning my editor's choice here for 2022. Definitely making it worth your money. So what do you think about this bad boy, the HP Dragonfly Folio G3? Really nice stuff here. I love the way this latches onto the side here. The latch is magnetic. It's pretty good. It charges and stores that pen. That's the HP Tilt pen. Pen worked really well as far as pressure sensitivity. Great for taking notes, diagrams, artwork, you know the drill. And then, of course, you've got this polyurethane cover, very leather-like. They don't call it vegan leather anymore. Very thin, very light. The whole package comes in under 4 pounds with the travel charger and, of course, the power cord and the pen. So very portable. Optional 5G works really well. I've used it with my Verizon SIM. I've used it with other SIMs that I've had. This worked really well, especially when I took it to New York. And it also has a great keyboard on this. Really nice 3:2 display in terms of that aspect ratio. 1920 by 1280. What's there not to like here, ladies and gentlemen? The only thing I can say, this is really expensive. But of course, as I mentioned early in the video, the price fluctuates over at HP.com. They do give discounts to businesses who tend to buy these in bulk. And at the time of my press briefing, this was, as configured here, about $1,750 or so. So expect major sales from HP on this. So if you're interested, keep your eye on that link below for the latest pricing. But I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in that comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.